Time out. What do I mean by time out? Well, sometimes that's just what needs to happen. And we get caught up in situations as contractors and we just kind of go through the motions and just act like it never happened, right? So you gotta call a timeout. So what does that look like? You've got a situation that's just going sideways. A customer is kind of telling you how the job's gonna go. They're kind of controlling things and things are kind of, running off the rails, if you will. It's okay to just truly say, time out. It's kind of universal, right? Everybody knows what timeout means, and it's just a reset. But you kind of got to do it in a kind of a funny way. It's like, whoa, time out. This thing's going off the rails. Let's just kind of reboot and start over. Let's back up. This can happen when you're pre-qualifying. This can happen when you're on the job site. This can happen in the heat of the moment. Because let's just say you're on the phone and you're pre-qualifying with a customer. You listen to the concerns, maybe you listen to their likes, and you're kind of falling back in your old ways. Because they're habits, right? I mean, this is stuff that we've created for years and years and years, and it becomes habitual. So even though we're making a change in our grip, kind of maybe if you're right-handed, you're batting left-handed, or vice versa, it's very uncomfortable. So you find yourself going back to your comfort zone. Well, you'll notice it, you'll recognize it, and in your gut you feel it, but you're too scared to say something. Well, let's just say you're giving a customer some concessions that you used to do, you threw it in there, but now you've realized that it affects your bottom line and you don't need to do that anymore. Or you said an old word track that just didn't make sense and you really want to use a new one. Well, it's okay to just literally say, hey, can I call a timeout real quick? And pause. Because now you've asked them a question. So you got their attention, you said timeout. Most likely they're going to say sure. You can't imagine them saying no. Now it's time to reframe the conversation. I said that I was actually going to take care of that. But candidly, that doesn't make sense for me to do that. That's a job for another trade. So I'd like to back up for a second and kind of discuss what we're going to work on and what other trades are going to work on, other subcontractors. Or you're on the phone and basically they're trying to get off the phone too quickly and they're rushing through, they're controlling the call. And that's where it's like, hey, can I call a timeout real quick? What I'm hearing is, or the story in my head is right now, that this is going to happen. And I'd really like something else to happen. So it's just a great way to call a timeout. It's universal. People understand that. And people always, almost always, does that make sense? Always understand when you're doing this. They appreciate your candor. They appreciate your frankness, because now you're communicating, and you'll hear me say this over and over and over. Communication strengthens relationships because it allows the customer to know how to feel. So when things are going off the rails, feel like you're losing control, maybe you said something they shouldn't have, maybe you're giving something away that definitely didn't make sense, you're falling back into your old habits, call a timeout, reframe, start over.